So you may have heard by now that YouTube have decided in their infinite wisdom to hide the public dislike count on all videos on the platform. But what you may not know is that YouTube have been up to a lot of other things as well. Oh, what's this? YouTube limiting custom thumbnail upload count. There is a limit to how many custom thumbnails a channel can upload each day. If you get an error saying daily custom thumbnail limit reached when trying to upload a thumbnail, try again in 24 hours. Limits may vary by country and region or channel history. Copyright strikes may impact channel history eligibility. Community guideline strikes will affect how many custom thumbnails you can upload. So of course, I have to ask at this point, have any of you encountered this error? Because I'd love to know what sort of limits we're talking about. 100 custom thumbnail uploads, 20, less than 10 a day. I've never encountered it. Of course, custom thumbnails are an absolutely vital tool for all creators, and you can unlock it by verifying your YouTube account. It's one of the first things you should do when you start a YouTube channel. So to lose or have limited access to this tool is quite terrifying, to be honest. Now, I don't think this is targeted in any way, shape or form towards the general creator. You know, somebody who publishes a video and then after an hour they decide that the click-through rate isn't that high, so they change the thumbnail. You know, somebody who's generally and obviously manually making adjustments to try and improve their content. What this is most likely targeted at is automated systems, which are switching thumbnails, you know, almost every other second, and people who are violating the community guidelines with thumbnails that just aren't appropriate for the platform. In the past, there have been a couple of inventive stabs at automated video optimization, the most famous one being Tom Scott's video that automatically updates its title every time somebody watches it. And then there's this Mr. Beast video in which every time someone watches it, he gives money to his friend. And I'm almost certain that in the past, this thumbnail used to automatically update. But maybe this new YouTube rule is preventing it now. There's even a video on how all of this is done through YouTube APIs, and I was very tempted to try and do this for dislikes. You know, make a video where the thumbnail automatically updated the dislike count, but that data is being removed from the API in a couple of weeks, so the video would break very quickly. Somebody's going to try that idea now, aren't they? Don't blame me if something goes wrong with your channel. We've kind of got sidetracked a little bit there, but to summarize, custom thumbnails, daily limits, keep an eye out for it. Also, while we are sidetracked, gone all in with the glasses today. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I've got a little more to say about thumbnails, but in order to get there, first we've got to go through YouTube Shorts. Now, I know you're not all fans of YouTube Shorts, but even if you don't create them, this may affect you and everybody else on the platform. According to TechCrunch, YouTube are performing tests that default the YouTube mobile app to open directly in Shorts if the user has previously watched Shorts videos before exiting. In other words, instead of being taken to the YouTube homepage when you return to the app, you'll be dropped into the short form video experience. As you can see, it kind of already does this on Android if you exit the app and then quickly go back in. But the world I'm envisaging in the future is when you wake up in the morning and you check YouTube for the first time, it just starts throwing you into Shorts immediately. Does anyone want that? Let us know in the comments below. Of course, that's very much the TikTok way of doing things, but YouTube users are used to choice, going to the homepage, subscription feed, doing a search. Not with short form content. This all goes back to a year ago when I thought for sure that YouTube were going to separate out Shorts as an independent app, you know, similar to YouTube Kids. But they're not. It's integrated into the main app. They are forcing it down our throats. Almost. But at the same time, it's hard to argue with the success of YouTube Shorts. 15 billion daily Shorts views. I still can't quite believe that number. And creators earning thousands of dollars every single month thanks to the Shorts fund. And all of that brings us on to YouTube Shorts thumbnails, which I think YouTube are trying to eradicate. For now, custom thumbnails for YouTube Shorts still display on desktop browsers because, well, I guess you watch them through a desktop browser. But within the mobile app, I'm not seeing custom thumbnails anywhere. On channel pages, they've been replaced by these portrait-sized random frames from the video, and in search, there are no custom thumbnails either, just this Shorts logo in the corner to tell you what type of video they are. I'm not about to tell you to stop making custom thumbnails for your YouTube Shorts, but unless you're getting tons of views on your Shorts from a computer or a laptop, I don't think anybody's going to see those thumbnails. Often when we talk about optimization, we say spend 99% of your time on the title and the thumbnail. But when it comes to shorts, spend 99.9% of your time on the content and nothing else. Our question of the day comes from TrumpZ World, who asks any tips on how to increase engagement on your community tab, getting more likes on posts, etc. There are 3 things I will say about that. Don't worry too much about likes. You want actual human engagement with your audience. You do that by number 2, always asking them a question and keeping that question relatively simple, just like this. In a recent poll, we asked if YouTube added a skip intro button, would you use it? A question very relevant to our community. They voted in their thousands and commented in their hundreds. In short, make your community the focus of your community posts. Next up, I saw this in a recent Creator Insider video on the topic of whether or not you should promote your content outside of YouTube.
You should absolutely share your videos outside of YouTube. Our recommendation system is primarily learning from how videos perform when they are offered up to viewers on home or suggested. So when we recommend a video, how is it doing? Do viewers choose to watch it? How much and how long of the video do they watch? And if they're satisfied. If your video is getting more traffic from external sources like social media, it's likely increasing your video's potential to be discovered by more viewers. And another benefit is that those viewers now have that video in their watch history. So there's a higher likelihood that they may be recommended one of your other videos in the future. So share away.
Now, I must confess that in a fairly recent video, I offered a somewhat alternative viewpoint to this. If you're just going here, there, and everywhere, picking random clumps of people and recommending they watch your videos, is that really as good as YouTube finding the perfect people for your content? So don't promote your content at all. Let YouTube do the work. I understand the theory and I get the logic. Now, I still stand by what I said there as a different approach to promoting your content. Within that video, there were plenty more traditional ways of promoting your videos. But there was something in that video from Rachel that really intrigued me. Once a video is in somebody's watch history is a benefit to YouTube's recommendation system. Does that mean that when YouTube cannot rely on its on-platform data, such as impressions and click-through rate, a view, simply a view, is a huge signal for the recommendation system? I'm just speculating here. Okay then, going back to public dislike counts being hidden. If you're a vidIQ user, you'll be familiar with this free tool that shows you the likes to dislike ratio before clicking on a video. Well, sadly, thanks to YouTube's changes, that tool is going to stop working properly. So we're figuring out what we should do with it, and that's where you come in. We've thought about just grabbing the likes and comments count and putting them in the thumbnail, or the current views per hour velocity rate, but we'd love to hear from you, so make sure to comment below. So those are some of the more recent hidden in the bushes YouTube updates. But if you're concerned about YouTube monetization and what's going on in that world, then guess what? We've done an update video on that too over here. Thanks for watching.